And good afternoon. I'm Kenny Benjamin. Welcome to another edition of ACB Caribbean Coaches View. Before we go any further, we just want to acknowledge our sponsors, our platinum sponsor, ACB Caribbean, simply smarter banking. They have been with Parish League cricket for going on 44 years, and we want to thank them very much for giving young Antiguans the opportunity to recreate themselves in something dear to our heart. Our other sponsors, Blue Mountain Water, the most refreshing water in Antigua, Seco Pharmacy, for all your pharmaceutical needs. They're up there on High Street. We also have Hutchinson Limited. They are the agents for Pine Hill, a variety of juices. Cool and Smooth down there on Lower Market Street. Plumbing and Electrical Limited. They are also one for major sponsors. And we just want to say thanks to all of them, and we hope that you continue to support them so you can continue to support us. This afternoon we're having a special edition right here at Barbeef in Liberta, where Australia on the 19th, they're practicing. They're part of the ICC on the 19th championship. The semi-finals, quarter-finals, and finals will be played here, right here in Antigua. And we're going to speak to Karima Go, he's on my far left, and JV Benjamin. Now, Karima Go and JV Benjamin, both of these two young men, they played for the Leeward Islands on the 19th some years ago, and Karima have then moved on to represent the USA in international cricket. Good afternoon to you two gentlemen.
Good afternoon to one and all.
Good afternoon.
Well, I'm going to start with Karima. When you played on the 19th for the Leeward Islands some 4 or 5 years ago, what was that to you? What did it mean to you?
That was a special moment because I was captain and it was just a big opportunity for me to play against the best around the region, and it was a good competition that me and my friends could take part in.
Did you see yourself at that time maybe playing international cricket at age 23?
It was a goal, but I didn't really picture it like what you just said.
And what about you, JV? What was it like for you playing for Leeward Islands at the youth level?
Well, it was very exciting for me because it was the first time I got to experience playing at that level, so I think it means a lot.
And you actually was one of the successful bowlers, because I think you were selected in a was it an all-star? And you stayed back, I think, or you went into a little camp. And what was that feeling like?
It was a great feeling to know, you work hard to make that all-star team, and I got to play with all kind of different players from other teams. It was a very good feeling.
Now, the important thing here, we see a lot of the under 19 players from all over the world come in. Obviously, you guys didn't get to go on, and you didn't get to represent the West Indies. I'm not sure if there was a West Indies team in that year. I don't think that they had a World Cup tournament then. But what would you want to say to the young boys, and now we have to say girls, who are aspiring to play at this level, the highest youth level in the Caribbean, the under 19s? What would you say to them, JV, in terms of if they come and ask you, how important it is, and if you think they should give it a go? What would you say to them?
I would say to them, keep their head up and think positive. It's a very good experience. You are seen by people from all over. Your talent will be shown. So I think they should keep their head up and stay positive.
What about you, Karina?
For me, there's two things that stands out: discipline and consistency. Once you have discipline in training and being consistent in what you do, no matter what you do, you will persevere.
This program is really about the coach's view. Any of you have aspirations in getting into coaching after you would have stopped playing many years down the road?
Yes, I'd love to give back to the younger players, show them what it's like to be a part of the game,
And what about you, Karima?
Well, I've started my process, and it looks very likely that I'll be in the coaching field later on the road.
Now, you guys have been with many teams. You have played in schools, you have played youth teams here in Antigua, you have played in the Leeward Islands tournament, and you have played at the West Indies youth tournament at that level. How important, tell me, how important are the coaches to the players? Because we keep hearing talks, and if we go back to the old days, you hear people saying, oh, people like Sir Andy and so on, they never used to have any coaches and so on and whatever. We know time has changed. From your perspective, your personal views, how important are coaches?
Well, to me, the coaches are very important because younger cricketers look at them as father figures, as mentors, and I think the coaches are the ones to carry them through the right path.
Karima?
Well, at the age coming up, I think the coach is the one to guide and nurture the players into what they think that they can be. But the players have a responsibility to take and look to see where they want to be. And that's where consistency and discipline also comes in. The coach can only do that much, but it's on the players from that age.
What I want us to look at is coaches, players relationship. What should it be? Or from your view, should it be I go to the coach, I speak to the coach about what is it that I would like to achieve, whether it's for the day, whether it's for the season, whether it's for the year, or whether it is in my career path, and the coach build a program around that, or should it be the coach look at you and determine what is it that you should be doing?
I think the player should go to the coach and ask for assistance because the coach has already been there and done that. So he has more better view.
What do you think, Karima? Do you go to the coach and you say, Coach, listen, I want to work on my reverse sweep today, I want to chip and drive, or I want to do a spot ball, or should the coach say, Karima, this is what I want you to do today? How should it be? What type of relationship should that be in terms of coach-player?
Well, I honestly feel that it comes with understanding, because coming up from a certain level in youth cricket, there was a time where the coaches would come to me and be like, this is what I want you to complete during today or throughout the week. And then as you go by and with understanding the game a lot more, you start to understand where you would need to work on and the areas that the coaches can help you in. And then there are certain areas that you can't really see for yourself, that you can go to the coaches and ask them, what do you think about this, and get input. And I think it should be an open conversation between coaches and players, because I honestly don't think that there's any wrong input. Like, coaches can disagree and players can disagree. It should be both ways that we can have a communication and understanding.
Do we believe, based on what we've been seeing and so forth, and again, you guys, you have played at the club level a lot, do you believe that the coaches are taken seriously? Should the coach be looked at as someone who really and truly have a big role to play, especially at the club level, where players, like you said, are still trying to find their feet, without being a dictator? Should the coaches be taken a little bit more seriously in terms of plotting the way for some of the players who maybe can't determine what is it that they want in practice or in a season, that sort of thing? Should the coach be taken more seriously by both the players, the parents, the club leadership, the association leaders? The question I'm trying to ask, do you think the coaches are taken seriously enough by our concerns?
Well, me personally, I don't think that the coach has been taken seriously, because if you look at it, the coaches, well, they're the only ones who know, they know the most about the game. No one else knows more about the game than them, so I think they should be taken more seriously than they are.
If we're talking about local youngsters around the island. And there isn't much there that I think that they need to put up themselves and actually do, because it all comes down to the youngsters actually willing and wanting to play. But then again, once you put in effort to help those youngsters, you will see the difference in them wanting to play the game.
In terms of, and we want to look at the school tournaments when you were playing. Obviously, a couple of years before you started playing, the school competition was quite competitive. When you played, I remember it was quite competitive. Holstein was the dominant team in that year. I think your school probably won a few competitions and so on. How important was that? We know there's a process, but we play cricket at home in the street. We come around the club when we were 13 and so on. And by the time we were 15, we went to the secondary schools, played at that level. In terms of that step, how important it was, because that would have been your first competition.
Yes.
Well, apart from the little on the 13th and so forth. So what was that like? Because that was your first competition where you wear the reels, so you wear pads and you wear gloves and so forth. How important was that in terms of you making a decision? Yes, this is what I want. Because it changes from the rubber ball, the plastic bat, and the no helmet. Now all of a sudden someone is running at you with a hard leather ball, you're going to get it up to your head and it can hurt. How important that was at that stage for you to make a decision that this is what I want to do?
Well, it was a stepping stone. Coming from under 13, just playing for fun and doing things like it was more of a different step going into secondary school. Going into secondary school, I was basically a small guy, so I was afraid of the ball a lot and stuff like that. So it was like I would say a practice session, but it kind of built your confidence to see where you actually want to go, if you actually want to play the game or if you don't want to. But playing with different guys around the island, it's just a different opportunity that you can step up to.
For me, I thought of it as my first step of my career. Got the chance to play hardball for the first time, experience the realness of the game, enjoyed it with my friends. It was a great experience, and it's really a starting process for you to further your career.
And you spoke about friends. And what about that? Did we build friends when we went to represent the Leeward Islands? Do we have friends that we're still in touch with? Do we know people that, even though we probably don't say hi every day, every now and again a name pops up that you know somebody who you have played with at the regional level? So can we say that also playing cricket at this early stage in life, on the 90s, that we build some lasting friendships?
Yes, for sure.
I'd say that because as players, you go through different problems during the camps or during the tours, so you might want a little friend to talk to about the problem at the side. So I think cricket brings you together, helps you to make friends.
Here's a question for you, Bo. Where would you like to be in 2 years?
Well, for me personally, my goal, it was in the next year I wanted to be at Leewards, playing in the West Indies Cricket Board tournament. Super 50, 40, that's where I wanted to be in the next 2 years.
For me, I see myself being more consistent at the game, and I'm already playing international cricket, but when it comes to that concept, I just feel that it's just about bettering my game at that point in time, being the best person that you can be and being a good all-round player.
We know of Hayden Walsh, and both of you played for USA the same time. Hayden Walsh then had a wonderful CPL, and he was offered a contract by the Cricket West Indies. You aspire to play regional 4-day cricket. If given the chance and you do well, would you offer to play for the West Indies if so asked?
At the moment, I don't think my mind is that far. My mind is more of playing more competitive cricket and trying to be the best player that I can be. With playing more competitive cricket over a period of time, I honestly feel that you will improve your game and you will improve your mental aspect apart with being a better person.
Well, we are going to just recognize our sponsors again. We want to say thanks to them. ACB Caribbean, Simply Smart Banking, Hutchinson Limited, agents for Pine Hill, Pell, that's Plumbing and Electrical Limited. They're somewhere between Potters and the main road there, just off to your left, just before you meet the Veg International there. Yeah. You can't miss them for all your plumbing and electrical needs. You make sure you check them out. Also, there is Cool and Smooth, Seco Pharmacy, and Blue Waters, the most refreshing water anywhere in Antigua. That's Blue Mountain water. Very, very good tasting water, that is. We're here with Davy Benjamin. Yes, for those who have been texting and asking, yes, he is my son. I got some of his handsomeness right from right here. And Karima Gore, also, yes, he is the son of Ian Gore, who is still very much a part of cricket here. He still believes that he can take on the young boys. So we want you to continue to support our sponsors, and they will continue to support us. Any memories, even though you didn't play at the international level, any memories come back to mind when you watch these young boys going through their paces here in the bird over the last couple of days?
Well, there's one that stands out for me. It was the Leeward Islands Under-19 tournament where I scored most runs, and that was a superb time for me where I was just training hard and enjoying every moment of it.
Well, there was one game for me in particular that I thought I played very well. I got 3 wickets, got 1 out, and yeah, it brings back a lot of memories.
No, I know the feeling, because I myself, when I was a young boy and the teams would come around, I would wish for the day when I'm wearing the national colours and people would come into the stadiums to watch me and so forth. But you guys are playing a different role now. You're not coaches, you're not playing, you're actually here working as ground staff. You're helping out, getting the place ready. And so what that has been like? What is that teaching you about getting the place ready? How important is that?
Well, it really shows you that we don't give enough credit to the ground staff around the island, It's a lot of hard work, really.
It shows me that the amount of work that the girls have put in, it's really tough, and that there's a lot of work behind the scenes doing before a game starts, even a practice session. So I think we should give the ground staff a lot of credit, even though it's just one guy. When I talk about that, there's one guy comes to mind. Karate. We call him Alas.
Yes.
Alfonso Jalas is his correct.
So I guess I don't come to mind.
No.
And certainly it is important, because I believe that especially we see how particular the coaches are, the players are. They come, they check everything out, even before the team goes. They check the pitches, they check the nets, they make sure it is safe, there's no holes in the nets, and so on. And so I think for the people who are watching, they now start to understand the importance of getting the scene ready for preparation, especially at a phase of a tournament like this, where all is at stake. The Under-19 World Cup is at stake, and it is good that you guys and the rest of the crew understand that it is so much important, because at the end of the day, the quality of the facilities, the quality of the pitch, that will also aid in development, because if it is not good, the bowlers won't enjoy it, the batters won't enjoy it. So I think you're right. What goes on behind the scene, definitely will have a serious impact, whether it's negative or whether it's positive, over the next couple of days.
And not to push you under the bus now, but because I used to help you and I still help you, is why I never really pay no mind to it.
Because you used to help and you still help. Yeah, and that's the thing about it. I think, like you mentioned, it is about understanding. As you go higher, you realize that it is important to have better pitches, better facilities, and so you probably look back and start to say, look, this is a very important aspect of our development. So, what is in store down the road? What are you guys looking forward to for the upcoming season? The season starts on the 12th of February, right after the ICC Under-19 finals. What do you fellas have in store for yourself? What are you looking forward to this 2022 local cricket season?
Well, I was out for a year injured, so a message to all the batsmen out there: get ready, because I'm back.
Karima?
For me, I'll be targeting most runs and most wicket. That's basically the aim.
The thing about it, you play international cricket. Every so often, you fly off away somewhere over the world and you compete against international cricketers. How do you stay motivated at the local level?
There's a kind of energy that I would say that when I'm here, a lot of guys push out. They would be like, a lot of guys wouldn't come to the club and they would hardly message me and stuff, but once they know I'm here, they would be like, when is practice? What time is practice? So they're like eager to practice with me, which also give me motivation to like even help them or even help myself. And then we would have like competitions in practice that if somebody get out, we would buy them a drink. If you don't get out for the day, they would have to buy you a drink. So it's very competitive, and the bowlers, we would give the bowlers balls to carry home so that they can do what they want. If they want to use grease, they can use grease, sunscreen, anything.
And the bowler drinks a lot of drinks too.
So tell us about that, JV. When you say the bowler drinks a lot of drinks, what do you mean by that?
Well, the bowlers have been winning a lot of bets since the bets have started. So I think the batters need to step it up.
So what type of bets? What type of bets are we talking about here?
Well, most of the time it's we bet if I can't out him, I have to give him a drink, and if he survives the day,
if you get him out,
if I get him out, he gives me a drink.
Right.
And you're saying the
if
bowlers,
he survived the day,
I
have to give him a
and
drink.
you're saying that the bowlers normally get a lot of
the
drinks.
bowlers normally get a lot of drink.
Well, I can't really disagree with that, but there are certain batsmen that every time you're out you have to give them a drink. So batsmen get out 3 or 4 times, but there's specific batsmen that don't get out. That so the percentage is very even, but I give it to the bowlers.
Does this bring another level of intensity to the practice?
For sure.
It certainly does.
Because even after practice, we've been arguing. Even before practice, we're at each other. So it just brings a nice competitive, and it's not personal, it's just friendly.
I see. I'm going to have to start sitting at the bar after practice. see if we can get a couple of those free drinks.
I remember when you used to join in.
Well, that was a one-sided affair, wasn't it?
Yeah. I would give you that. That was a few years ago, so I would give you that one.
Now, you as the international player, Karima, when you come to practice, and I know you spoke a little bit about that. What role, once you are at the club, what role do you see yourself playing? has been one of the 3 international players at the club. There is Raheem Cornwall, and there's Hayden Walsh Jr., and there's yourself. You know, what is it? And you don't have to speak for those other guys, but how do you see you 3 guys? What's the role you believe, and how important it is that you guys turn out, make sure that you're at practice and so forth? How important is that to the team, to the club, and to the other players?
I think it's very important, even though we're working on your personal skills. There's always the youngsters watching, or they would ask you questions. But when it's time for them to get into the arena, like batting or bowling, there are certain things that you can pass to them early that you didn't know at that age, that I feel that is very important. So I always try and help them or give them the knowledge that I know now at their age. Because I believe if they know it at that age, a younger age than I was, because I basically learned most of it in the past 2 years and stuff like that. And it would help them develop their cricket. It would help them be an all-round better person also. So they would see me helping them, but then again, I'm still helping myself. So with repeating the correct stuff over and over, I think that it would be like a habit to myself and a habit to them to help each other also.
And how much do you look up to these 3 gentlemen, Jeffrey, and what are you looking for in terms of leadership from them? What are you expecting whenever you turn up at training and they're there? What is it that you would like from them as the 3 senior men in the club?
Well, I expect them to be more in control of the practice, you know. The players must always listen and, you know, get tips from them. You know, they're the international players.
There are talks about the standard of cricket right across the Caribbean. Obviously, we're not as strong a region as we were. Some people believe that at all levels, right across the Caribbean, the cricket isn't as competitive. The quality isn't good. And there is the other side of the story that speaks to the fact that we are not playing enough cricket. Now, you can play enough cricket, a lot more cricket, and the quality isn't good, or you can play less cricket and the quality is much better. When you look on the local scene, we have 10 teams in the ABCA competition. There's a Super 40 where all the teams are competitive. There's a T20 where all the teams are competitive. Do you think, Kakarima, especially at the longer version, that maybe this time that they cut those down, maybe the top players in Antigua maybe have to fight for those maybe 66 places just to raise the standard, because that is where development take places. Not in the T20, not in the Super 50, but in the longer version when you have to bat all day. There's no limit on how long you bat. And when you have to bowl teams out, not just bowl 10 or 4 overs and your stint is finished. When you have to come back after tea and continue to bowl when the ball is 70 overs old. Do you think it is time maybe for the ABC to maybe have talks with some of the interested people around Antigua to see if they can maybe get better quality of cricket, especially at the 2-day level?
Yes, I think that's a good idea, because it's better to have 6 teams with the best quality cricket being played than to have 12 teams with you have 4 top teams and the rest 8 teams is just playing for fun.
What is your favorite format, JB?
My favorite format is the longer format of the game.
And Karima?
The longer format of the game.
Are you actually speaking about the white clothes cricket?
Yes. That's been my favorite cricket from growing up, and it's never changed. The only thing that's changed so far is watching a whole day cricket in white clothes. I honestly cannot watch a whole day of cricket in white clothes, but it's still my favorite.
You can't watch a whole day, but you can bat a whole day.
Yeah.
You can't watch a whole day, but you want people to watch you whole day.
Well, that's a different topic when it comes to that. But That's what I see personally that changed so far.
What should the clubs try and put in place to improve local cricket? You know the clubs. You know that there is Parish League cricket that keeps some of the young people active, and even some of the older folks who probably just are playing to recreate themselves and so forth. But what should the clubs be doing to try and help to keep cricket alive, to try and get back that level of competition, those good qualities that there was once?
Well, I think that they need to have youth programs in all the villages that participate in the tournament, because if you can go around and you find a little boy or girl probably hitting a stone or something, you can mold them into cricketer or something.
I can only speak for what I've experienced, and that's what I'll do. Growing up from a younger age, we had the Kenny Benjamin Youth Festival. INET was the sponsor of that. We had a group of, I think it was 20-something kids at Falmouth. Me and JV was a part of that. And it came down to 12, it came down to 6, and then it's just me and JV at the moment. So I honestly feel that it's a youth program, as what JV said. Because you can see like majority of the guys from Liberty came up from a small age in a youth program. So a youth program is definitely important, because you will have guys that come in and guys that will drop out, but you will definitely see who wants to play cricket.
We are shifting the responsibility back to the coaches, because we know that the role that we say that we want to play and the responsibility that they have. When we look around, and I want us to take a little bit of time, a couple of seconds, and have a look around Antigua, and we see what is happening. Do we think the coaches are doing enough of that, going into the communities, their communities, and finding these young boys or girls that hitting a stone, that's playing on the street and never get out? They're always batting. One guy I know in particular, he's always batting. Whenever he gets out, they have to start over. I've never seen him bowling. And so, do we think that we're seeing enough of that understanding and that interest from the coaches, going out into the communities and finding these young boys and girls, because that is what they are at them. They're not even young athletes as yet. Just boys and girls who want to recreate themselves and, like you said, JV, mold them into young athletes. Are we seeing enough of that?
Well, what I feel is that it'd be a challenge to go into the community itself, but it has to start from the school level. The school level will be an easier task to look at it, because you have basically all the kids attending school. So once you can start it in school, then you would be able to identify those from the community.
To be quite to the point, I think that the coaches around Antigua, they're just doing the jobs for show. They only do it to be seen. They don't do it they don't have the passion for the game. So the youths don't really adapt that passion for the game. They just come and because they want to come. That's what I think.
Are you telling me, JV, that the coaches are not taking this game of cricket seriously?
I don't think they put enough effort into the game nowadays.
Karima?
I won't say that they don't put enough effort into it, but there could be a lot of better things that they could do, especially in training. Help the youngsters one by one. Because I've been to a few practice sessions outside of Liberta where you just go to practice, somebody run up and bowl to you, and basically that's a practice for the day.
No input from the coach.
There's just that's basically you just trying to fight on your own to see where you could learn.
You the first time you played cricket for school was in the secondary schools, and you went to primary school and there was no cricket at the primary school level. Do you think that it is time that we see the primary schools starting to play cricket again, so it gives the young boys more time to develop that skill, and like you said, give the coaches an opportunity to see them at a very early age, Because too many times you see people at the secondary school just playing for the first, learning to play for the first. Is it time that we say to the Ministry of Sports, look, put cricket back in the primary schools. Let the boys and girls go and play and have fun and enjoy themselves, and we can start to spot that talent at a very early age. So the village and the secondary schools could start to identify. Is that something that we need to insist?
Yes, certainly, because the youths of today, they are more developed than we were at their ages. So I think it would be a good idea, a very good idea, to start from the primary schools, you know, and they will already been through that already. So when they get to the secondary school, there's not much work to be done.
I don't think it's just cricket alone. I think all sports should be started in primary school. That's where children choose their passion and stuff like that. And then you will have children changing sports as they get older. So all sports, I honestly feel, could start from primary school, because you have people that not going primary school doing swimming classes and stuff like that. Young small babies. So why not?
Where did your passion come from, Karim?
Well, there's one part I could remember at Falmouth Cricket Field. Well, it's not cricket field now, but it was a cricket field at that time. My father carried me to cricket, and he had the vehicle open. And there was a time when he was keeping, and somebody was bowling. I don't remember the person that was bowling, but I was running on the field and shouting "Daddy." And everybody from that sitting on the stand was running behind me, and then my father was like looking around to see where I am, because he was only hearing "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy." And then I actually started the game for a bit. So I honestly feel that's the longest moment that I could remember. I don't remember other things like that. Like, there was another time where I just picked up a bat around the same age, and some people was throwing some balls to me, and from that's where I love batting. If I was playing with my age group, I would never want to bowl. I would just want to bat, and I was never out. So
you were the guy I was speaking about earlier on. Every time I look, it was JV and another youngster called Myron. And every time I look, Karim is batting. I never seen him not batting. I said, this youngster. And when I asked the other two, they said every time he gets out, he wants to start over.
But you see, the thing about it is, right, JV Benjamin, JV is one that loves to bowl. So why not? I would just bat holding, and JV would bowl all day.
Well, you know how that goes. Ever since I knew myself, my fingers always like this. I used to play in my yard by myself, put a chain in front of the wicket, and for the whole day I played matches after matches.
So where did that passion come from?
Well, I think it all runs in the blood.
Very interesting. Like you actually mentioned something that is very important, Karima, and I just want to speak to that a little bit. You spoke about your age group from the Kenny Benjamin Youth Fest. You spoke about 20 odd, and it came down to 13 and then 2. But if we really look at real life, in most things, that is how it is. You start with a lot. If every age group we get 2 that survive, because the age group with Raheem Cornwall and Kadim Phillip, it was 2 as well. There was quite a lot of guys was there around that age group, and it came down to the well Ching Avia is there as well. And the age group before that, with Ricky Christopher and William Cornwall, it was those 2 as well, and they pushed right up. And so if we just continue that trend, if every 2 or 3 years we get 2 out of that batch, you would have that staggering, that mixed age group, that older guys, some of you just on the way out, some of you in your prime, and some just start. And I think that is always the blend that we always have here in Liberta. And so I think it was par 2 out of 20. That is like what? That is 10% or so. And that is exactly what we are hoping that the other clubs understand. We are not going to keep everyone, but what is important there, and you saw that was the numbers.
Yeah, and even though 2 actually took the game serious, you still have like 4 guys that would take part in club activities.
Exactly.
So it's not just a complete number of just 2 playing cricket alone.
You understand? And now that you have so many other areas, because we have seen here at Liberta so many of our scorers who have moved on to different levels. Some have become coaches, some have become international scorers, female umpires. And so it is very important in terms of our club development that we understand that everybody will not become a sports person, but we can get a lot of them around the sport and continuing to develop the sport and their club and their community. Because if we were to look at even the Australian team, when they came, we saw a bus came with all the officials. There was a manager, 4 coaches, then you have the analysts, you have the medical area, we have the physiotherapists, you have the masseur, and so you have so many other auxiliary positions and jobs around sports, and this is for all sports. And so it is very important that we as community leaders and as association leaders and as national leaders start to put things in place so all of these people are trained. All of these people are trained. I was just speaking to, and both of you would know the gentleman, Mr. Goodwin, umpire, and he said to me they call him out of retirement. And so he was wondering, how and when are we going to start training some young umpires? And I have one suggestion, and you guys can tell me what you think. Every secondary school that want to enter in the Ministry of Sports program must send at least 1 umpire every year to train. An umpire maybe and a scorer. All of them may not go on to become umpires, but at least if you have 12 secondary schools and they send 12 umpires every year, even though you get 1 every 2 years, I think that will keep us refreshed. That will keep enough umpires in the system with that passion. What say you?
That's where I think development comes in, especially early day in sports, even from primary school level. Once you start sports, there's a lot of aspects that you may pick up personally, even to be a player or a manager. Once you start early, as you grow, you may not like being a player, but you may like managing players. So it's an early start to many options.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea because they would have a few students also that would probably want to just, get out and have fun or do something else. They're not sportsmen, like you said, just want to try something new.
And as our time winds down, on this program when we're having so much good time, we will have to indulge if we can steal a couple minutes. We started a couple minutes late. If our sponsors and so on and our producers won't mind. I want us to look as young people, young cricketers, future international cricketers, future coaches, mentors, whatever. How important is it for club structure? How important it is as to just maybe a bunch of people just come together? How important it is for the communities to really and truly understand and to support the establishment, because they are multifaceted. They give opportunities to the young people. Even as we speak here, there's a number of young people in the community who are actually working, because there was a system in place, there's a structure, they're hosting some practice matches and so on. How important is club structure going forward to both of you?
Basically, I can only talk from Liberta point of view, It's been a club for a long time, so I can't really remember in the early days, but I heard a lot of stories about the development of what's been happening over here, and I saw it for myself coming up as a youngster. And I honestly think it's important because you're well organized and you could organize and help people to get further and better at doing what they love, discipline, consistency. It's also development. They can make you be a well-rounded person also. So it's just not to say that you're just coming to be part of a club and I'm part of a club. It helps you in life, personal qualities also.
I think it's important because, well, if you look at it, most people look at Liberta and they wonder why we win so much competitions and these sort of things. It's not because of nothing else. It's because the club it unites you. It's like a family. So you come together, you have your family, everybody's happy, the performance is better. Most of the clubs around Antigua don't really have that, so there's a lot of contention in the groups and people don't get along and these sort of things, and the performance is not there.
Talking about family, Liberta's been out to so many outings, like eatings as a group. We went to Cavell.
Guest house.
A lot of times we went to guest house, a weekend pass. So it's just not like we made a club today and it's just a club that everybody goes home and a few times we come over, have a few drinks, laughs, just enjoy each other time.
And you speak about Cavell, and I just want our listeners and our viewers just to remember this moment. The team went by Cavell one time, and there was a challenge. They spoke about this earlier, and they like challenges. And there was this challenge that if we can eat all the food that Cavell cooked for us, we won't pay. There was Abdel Hughes, he was the coach that time. There was Ricky Christopher, McNeil Simon, the late O'Neill. There was Tamo Carr, all the big eaters in Liberta. We went over by Cavell. We had a civilian bus full. And I can remember we started out well. And I can remember that Karima Go, only a toddler then, he went to his dad, Ian Go, and he said, Daddy, a man won't have a shark in his food. I believe that Cavell gave, I think it was Abdi.
Yeah,
that fish was so big on the plate that he was so small he thought it was a shark. But we really had some good times, and like you rightly said, it was more than just coming out to play cricket. We went to hotels for retreats just before the season, spent some time there. We would have our social evenings when you have to dress properly and come down just to socialize with one another, have some snacks and so on. And apart from that, we will have our little outings here or there. We normally go to the beach on a Saturday morning when there's no matches and so on. So it is just something that the other clubs, and we're sharing these because we believe that we are a leader in terms of club. There's the Blackhawks football, who is still the defending champions in the ACB Premier Division, and then there is the Blackhawks cricket, that even though we only have one champion that we're defending at the moment, the ACB 10 Splash, we have still won some 37 championships since 2008 out of some 49 finals that we have played. They're all there. I can tell you off my head that the Liberta Blackhawks have won the State Insurance Super 40 7 consecutive years, and we have played 12 consecutive finals. We lost the 8th year, then we won the next 3, then we lost the 12th. So we're not the defending champions. And the Cool and Smooth Championship, we didn't win in the first 2, but we won 4 out of 6 editions of the Cool and Smooth. The competition, I think we have won over the last 12 years. We have won it either 6 or 7 times. So there's quite a lot to show. We've won as a matter of fact, the Liberta team was the first champion in the Parish League Thursday League. We beat St. John's at Antigua Recreation Ground. I can see Mark hanging his head down there when he heard that. The late George Phillip, he was man of the match and he got 7 wickets in the game. And so those are the sort of things that keeps the Liberta team together. And I hope it keeps other communities, because other communities, other villages, other teams, they have good stories as well. That I'm sure that when they get on the Thursday time, I'm sure a lot of these very good stories, would come out in terms of Parish League, because in the day, I can tell you, Parish League was really the thing. People used to call the first class cricket in those days, that was the Cricket Association League. It was boring, nobody was playing to win, everybody wanted to get into the national team. But Parish League was the thing to watch. Exciting, talented, and I tell you what, a lot of those teams in the day could have competed with a lot of those teams playing in the Antigua Cricket Association League. But it's just that guys would prefer to play for their village. We are not seeing that happening a lot now, Karima and Jamie. We are seeing people moving from village to village. What do you think of that? People not wanting to represent their community, people moving from one team to another, people just moving around and making it very difficult for any stability in the communities.
Well, I heard about 2 reasons. One reason is that they want to play cricket, and if they go to certain teams, they won't be able to play. Playing the 11. And the next reason is training quality. So those are the 2 reasons I've heard from local players saying that's why they move around a lot. And that's basically it.
So obviously, we have a problem then. Because if the training quality is not good and people have to move teams, that means the coaches need to do something about that. JV?
It's like I said earlier, I don't think enough effort is being put into coaching individuals in Antigua. I don't think the coaches have enough planning and, to get things in order for the team to prepare.
Now, you mentioned something there, and I want you to talk to me about this, Karima. He mentioned about coaching individuals. Now, what is the difference in terms of coaching a team and coaching individuals? Because even though you're coaching a team, they're individual players with different needs. So what is the difference from a coach's perspective or from a player's perspective in terms of the coach coaching the individual and then the coach coaching the team?
When coaching a team, I feel that everybody should be involved. There's a lot of coaches that I've seen around, and when they're coaching teams, some guys would be on the field like standing up for the whole afternoon, and they would feel like 2 balls, and then you would find out like he doesn't come to practice often. Maybe that's the reason. When coaching individuals now, there's specific things that an individual may want or need that could help them better their game and also help them better their discipline and consistency in many areas.
Right, good.
So that's basically it from my point of view. And Kenny, what do you think about it?
Well, gentlemen, it really has been a pleasure having a talk with you guys. We just want our viewers just to see what's happening over in Liberta. We have just spoken to Karim Ogo and J.V. Benjamin, 2 youngsters who have represented the Leeward Islands at under 19 level. And seeing that we are here at Liberta, looking at the Australians practicing, we just want you also to enjoy just a bit of it from over here. The Australians, I think they play on, is it on Friday? They play on Friday against Pakistan. And Pakistan, they were here this morning, 9 o'clock. That game starts at the Sir Viv Richards Stadium. So if you want to see some cricket, what you're seeing on your screen there is the Australians. They're over here at Balbeef in Liberta, home of the Blackhawks, PIC Blackhawks cricket team and the football team as well, the headquarters of the Liberta Sports Club. And we just want you to, if you are vaccinated like they asked for, and you want to see the teams, one team is over here every day You can come over, you can sit down and have a look to see what the under 19 boys are. There's also practice at Police Ground, Coolidge Cricket Ground when there's no matches, Vivitor Stadium when there's no matches. But for the duration of the tournament, which ends on the 5th of February, they will be over at Ball Beef, morning sessions, afternoon sessions. So you can come out and, you know, have a little chat to Karim and JV. They'll be here as well. And you can talk about cricket, get their perspective on it, see some of the under 19 boys, some of the best in the world. And as far as we understand, South Africa have been the first casualty in this Super 8. They've lost to England quite easily. They got bowled out for 210, and England made that in a hurry for the loss of 4 wickets. Some very good scores coming out there. We also urge you later down in this year that there will be matches in the ACB, the Antigua and Barbuda Cricket Association Super 40. It starts on the 12th, and there will be matches over here at Barbuda as well. Last year we didn't use the facilities. We were doing some upgrades. When you come over, you see the wonderful nets that we're putting up behind, and some upgrading the field and so on, making our square a little bit bigger. So you can come over on a weekend and enjoy some very, very, very good cricket. But let us not forget the people that we mentioned who sponsored us for this program. It has been going on for quite a while, and we want to say thanks very much to them again. Make sure that you go out and you do support them. This program mainly look at the coach's view, but today, because of this special moment, we decided we're going to pull these 2 youngsters out. We want to thank them very much. Karim Go again, the son of Ian Gore, a veteran in local cricket. He was part of that winning combined school team that won the Antigua Cricket Association to the competition in 1984 under the guise of Taddy Arundel, the Ayatollah. I myself was a part of that, and so JV, my son as well. So they're following in the footsteps of their fathers, representing Liberta, and so far Karim Go has gone on to represent the USA. JV has reached to the Leeward Islands on the 19th. So we are wishing both of them well, hoping them that they continue to work hard at their game, continue to train hard, to come out to help those who need help, be consistent. And in just closing, we want to thank the producers, thank our sponsors, and thank all of you who've been a part in whatever way or form. This is Kenny Benjamin saying have a wonderful afternoon, and we'll